Hey guys, good morning. I thought I will post another video on what the stock market is doing, what SoFi is doing, and where do I see the price going forward. This is not one of those, price prediction or anything like that. It's just my views where I see the market, where I see all my stocks, not just SoFi, but I'm talking about Tesla, NVDA, all those things, where they're going. So I feel, let's talk about SoFi first. So SoFi, I feel, is going to pull back a little bit. We saw the $30 mark, where this was really exciting to see it hit $30 and then start to trace back a bit. So when it hits an inflection point like that, I always take advantage of it. So I brought my cost average even further down by selling some covered calls. And that's a strategy that I have, I think, mentioned in my previous videos many times, that anytime I see a really high, unprecedented gain in the market, when stocks are high for no reason, just no fundamentals, just pure market movement, I take advantage of that. So, SoFi, the actual price, if we are talking about bull market, if we are talking about bull price prediction, it's about $26, the fair market value right now. So when it hit $30, I knew there is some pullback going to happen. Now, it doesn't mean that it cannot go any further. Of course, it can go to 35. Who knows? I mean, they're saying the stock is shorted a lot. I haven't looked at that data yet. But to talk in general about where the price is, it's about $26 is what I see as a fair market price for SoFi, with the earnings and EPS and everything that's going on in the company right now. So when I saw the price hit $30, I sold covered calls because you guys know I have a lot of shares. So if you have 100 shares or more, you can do that too. My price was $33.50, where I sell the covered calls, because if SoFi hit, and I sell the calls on weekly basis. So if I sell that call of, let's say on Monday, I sold the call for Friday, or Tuesday for Friday, the premium amount keeps coming down. So when I sold the call, I basically got about 35 cents or something like that. So when I sell 100 calls, because I only wanted to sell on half of my position, so about 100 calls that I sold, 10,000 shares, I got about $3,500. That was for the week. So I brought down 35 cents when I received. I brought down my average 35 cents below. So, and I put the trade on. It was trading at 25. I put the 35. I was like, it goes. And I think at one point it went to 30 something, and then boom, next thing you know, it was sold. My calls were executed, and then they expired. So I get to keep the $3,500 plus minus the commission. So my average now has came down by that much, by 35 cents on the stock. So I have done this continuously for all my positions, but what really is going on is that market is at all-time high. September closed high, and now we are in October. So there's got to be a pullback. There's got to be a pullback where we will see these stocks come down from their all-time highs, and stock market needs a breather. Any news coming out of China, anything coming out of Europe will bring the market down. Temporarily. And that's what I honestly feel, that bull market is here to go in 2026. So my strategy right now is that anytime the market pulls down or comes down drastically, I'm buying long calls. Currently, I have Apple calls for June 2026. I'm not playing January anymore because January is right around the corner. I'm playing June now. So I have June 2026 calls. I have a lot of calls for NVIDIA for June 2026. When I bought those calls, I basically bought those calls at a premium, like higher price, because stock has come down since then. But what I did was I only bought 5 calls. Then anytime market came down, I bought 5 more calls. Anytime market came down drastically, where it was the NVIDIA was down 5% or 3% or something like that, I immediately jumped and bought 10 more calls. So by doing that strategy, I have many calls now, but the average price keeps coming down. So anytime market goes up, I benefit from that average price being down. So right now, my Apple calls and my NVIDIA calls are really printing money basically. They are high almost. Apple calls are up 110%. NVIDIA calls are up almost 53%. And we are talking about June. So June is further up. Like, we have so many months in June, almost 9 months, 10 months. So I feel like I'm going to see a lot of movement on those calls. But here's my strategy. If the market comes down in October, I'm going to buy more of those calls to bring my average down even further. If my call cost goes down, like for example, if I bought those calls for $6 and if the call is still at 8, I'm not going to buy any more calls. I'm going to look at other things like Amazon or Google or anything like that. Because I feel in the coming year, we are going to actually see the revenue come from these AI investments. So far, we have only seen AI spending. We have not seen AI investment, AI earnings. And I think Meta is the only company who's really, really figured out how to make money from AI. Rest of the companies are struggling right now. Perplexity, I downloaded the browser, I used it for like 5 minutes, and I didn't like it. I still prefer Chrome. So, but I didn't give it enough time. So I will try it more over the weekend just to see if it can do things a little better than other, I would say, browsers. But I feel that Google could be a great AI play if and when they figure out the AI strategy. And it's going to happen sooner or later. Think about the data that flows through Google every day. And data is king because so much data that goes on. Another thing, OpenAI, right? I mean, ChatGPT. I'm seeing myself, and my belief is always that the things that I do and I use on a daily basis, I really want to dig deeper into those things. So ChatGPT, I've been using more and more on a daily basis, more and more. And it's making me lazy. I have to say it's making me lazy because there are many things that I used to do manually. I would research manually. I would like just this morning, right? I just came from gym, for example. I had a workout plan written out that I wanted to do, a functional training plan that I wanted to follow. When I was like doing the training, there was few exercises that I wanted to see the image, even though I've been doing it for years and years. But it's kind of perspective. It's good to have that image in front of you so you can still see the form of how to do things and how to work out. And there was an LSIT exercise that I was supposed to do, and I was like, let me just see, what the correct image is, where the form is, where the hands sit, are they turned out, those kind of things. What I did was I pasted my plan into the chat GPT and I said, give me an image for each exercise and display it in a format that I can follow along while I'm working out. My goodness, like 2 minutes into it, or not 2 minutes, 20 seconds into it, it gives me the whole PDF with like the proper images, the name of the exercise, the proper form with the description at the bottom. This is mind blowing. We are right now using it for fun purposes, the consumers like you and me. But companies are really digging deep into how it can incorporate ChatGPT. Yesterday, I was doing research how I can incorporate ChatGPT API into my work, into the application that we have that we use on a daily basis for what I do. And there was some amazing examples, and I can so foresee that it can really be helpful for our company to use the ChatGPT API, and I'm willing to pay for that because it's going to make my life, my coworkers' life, much easier. So I feel that we are going to see a lot of earnings from AI coming next year. And guess who's going to benefit? Companies like Amazon, Google, Tesla, OpenAI, of course, NVIDIA. These companies are going to benefit. And if you have any conviction, and it's entirely up to you, if you have any conviction that AI is going to change the future, change the way we work, leverage your money. And this is a very risky bet, but I have done it and I'm seeing the benefit. I borrowed against my stock. I bought NVIDIA shares, and those shares right now are at like 55% gain. Which money market or which savings account or which any other place you can get a 50% gain in less than like 6 months? And what I did was I sold half of my NVIDIA shares and I paid off, or the leverage that I did, I cleared that. And now I'm sitting on NVIDIA shares that I would have never owned, on that. So I do this strategy to keep increasing my portfolio on a yearly basis. Doesn't matter if it's selling covered calls, doesn't matter if it's um, leveraging my money to borrow against my stocks. Now, don't sell stuff, don't borrow and sell stuff. That's where you get killed. Borrow and buy stuff, because buy not stuff means things, but I'm talking about like stocks that you have conviction in. Don't go and just read an article or watch a video like mine and say, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and buy. You need to have your conviction and see, okay, this is what I need to do, this is what I'm going to do, this is where I believe the market is going. So I wanted to put this video out because I feel it's very important to understand where we are standing in the stock market, what is going to happen in the next few years, or I would say next 2 years, that's going to come. And very soon I'm going to be posting regular videos where I will talk about the stock markets, strategies and stuff like that, on a regular basis, because I feel like it's important for all of us to gain of what the market momentum is right now. And I mean, it can change. I'm not saying it's not going to change. It can change tomorrow. So I hope I was able to help and provide some perspective of what we are seeing in the market. But thank you so much for joining me again, as usual. And tell me in the comment if you want to see more of these videos or any other video that you would like to see. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.